earlier in your career, you got to fight for Island Fights, Dean Tool, and now you were making your return to one of Dean's promotions in Game
Mhm.
Bred, Bare Knuckle. Did all of that, did that kind of contribute to this? Did this win really mean a lot for you?
Yeah, man, absolutely. But it was weird too because it's like after the win, I wasn't like riding that. I wasn't riding this high that I normally get when um when I do win my fights, and I started really trying to be like, damn, like, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Like, am I, you know, gonna not train as hard because I'm not feel like why am I going to put in more effort if like the wins don't feel as good as they did before, and then all this other shit. And I kind of came to the conclusion, man, that it's just the mental work that I've been putting in and learning, and along that process, one of the main things I've tried to teach myself is it's never about obtaining a certain goal. It's about enjoying the journey and where your feet are right now, and loving every moment of it, every day to day. And so, I guess when I got the win, it just wasn't like, it was just like, oh, another day at the office kind of thing, and uh, back to doing what I love every day. Like get back to practice, get back to, you know what I mean. And so I think that was kind of it obviously meant a lot to me, a lot. Um, but I didn't get overly ecstatic about it because I found like when you do that, obviously, so you see like a lot of fighters that, you know, end up, after their career's over, after they lose or after they have to, don't have a fight for a while, uh, they get depressed or they get, you know, just their mental health kind of goes down the drain. And I've experienced that firsthand multiple times. And so it's like I gotta fix this shit because I cannot let you know, uh, my sense of peace or you know, my joy or any kind of like self love or confidence or whatever be determined by an outcome that or a goal that wasn't reached, or whatever the case may be. Like I can't let that happen anymore. And so, and then that's with everything in life, man. Like you see it all the time. You know, the way you do anything is the way you do everything. And a lot of times people, they go into a funk, man, because their happiness is dependent upon whether something else happens, like a particular, I'll be happy if I can just get these bills paid, or I'll be happy if my wife tells me she loves me, or I'll be happy if I get that. I'll be happy once I get that house built, or whatever the case may be, or get a raise, or whatever. And when they get those things, then they don't experience the joy that they thought they would have had, and the happiness is like, or when they don't get those things, it's just like, now what? Now what? And so you got to learn to enjoy the process and enjoy the day to day and be where your feet are, and stop worrying about, you know, depending upon how happy you are in life, as if a particular uh, goal is obtained, and you forget to really look around you and be grateful for what you got right now. So, you know, like I said, it was a great win, but just back to the day to day grind, on to the next one and go from there. And that was another thing I was gonna say real quick. That's what happened to Tyson Fury. He talks about that a lot. His whole life was, I want to be world champ. I want to beat Klitschko, blah blah blah. And he trained his ass off for it, and easily just ran through everybody, and up until he got the Klitschko fight, and then he ran through Klitschko. And when that happened, he said he was just like, why don't I feel anything? Like, why? Where's all this joy? Where's all this happiness? Where's all this? And then he realized that all those years he spent to get there wasn't even present for it. He's so fixated on obtaining this goal or his dream, and that it was going to give him all this fulfillment that he thought he was going to have. And when it didn't, that's when he went into that big, that slump, that depression. Volkanovski talked about it after his fight, not being able to, keep me busy, blah, 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 this and that. It just goes to show, like, feel like we are all wired through social conditioning to believe that, like if we, fulfillment comes from obtaining a particular goal, you know, and, and that's the only thing that'll give us gratification. And so everybody is just constantly working for that instead of, you know, being present, like in the moment, you know, and where their feet are and enjoying the things that are around them and everything else. And it's just one of those things, man, because like with fighters and people that are really successful, you find, um, or athletes, let's say fighters, athletes, or anybody you find is really successful is kind of like wired like that because they feel like once if they do achieve the goal or whatever the case may be, that it wasn't enough. And if they're satisfied with it, then that means they're going to get complacent. And so they obviously become really successful because they're constantly trying to obtain the next goal and the next goal just to feel some fulfillment. And then at the end of the career, they'll look back and be like, damn, like I really didn't, take a minute to just pause and be like, look at all that I've done already and accomplished. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it was a different feeling after the win, but I think it was a good thing.
No, you mentioned in this interview the importance about manifesting. For me personally, doing the MMA journalism, the reporting, that is my passion. That is my dream, and I've even had people tell me, you're crazy driving 9 hours to Biloxi, going covering these different fights. You're not getting paid, what they don't understand. In life, you got to do things for free. You got to build yourself up to get to that point. And I try telling people
Mhm.
is I'm living a journey. I am part of a journey,
Yeah.
which is why I connect with you guys and fighters because yeah, you guys are focused on the next fight, the next fight after that, but you all recognize you're on your own journey. For me
Yeah.
personally, I have a fear of being complacent. I don't want to have a 10 to 5 or 9 to 5 job that I hate 40 hours a week and have to worry about stability and that's what keeps me up. That's not what I want. But you have
Mhm.
so many people in life that they just stop their dreams. One, because people are telling them, oh, you're crazy. They get scared, they get discouraged by it. Why do you think there are so many people? Because I think it's a problem the day we live in. I think it's grained in society that people
Mhm.
maybe aren't supposed to chase their dreams. And to me, the American dream is doing what you want, living out your perfect destiny, trying to provide for your
Mhm.
family, but also making it a life, even if you're not making as much money as a CEO of a corporate company, doing
Mhm.
something that is going to motivate you to get out of bed and do what you like, love every single day. And that's for me something that I take to heart. And listening to your podcast, the Battle Scars podcast, you guys have mentioned it a little bit, but why do you think people give up on your dreams? And what is something that you did personally to ensure that did not happen to you?
Well, I mean, there's probably several reasons why people um give up on their dreams. One of them is cultural conditioning. Um, I think that that's one of the things that I'm trying to change with my platform around here in Mississippi is speak out and try to inspire future generations to chase their dreams. And that you just because we've been told uh, our entire lives that we're the poorest, the the highest high school dropout rate. Where I just found out number 49 per capita, and like as far as like least safest states. You know, where the highest obesity rate, all these different things, it's kind of like just kind of pumped into the culture down here. And like people, even if you don't believe what you hear, that's not how the brain works. You keep hearing something over and over and over again, it gets ingrained into your subconscious, man. And that's what, I feel like big time media like understands. It's just how the brain works. And it's like if someone hears something enough, eventually their brain is gonna believe it. They're gonna, it's gonna be kind of ingrained in them. And when you see like generation after generation after generation kind of doing the same thing, you grow up in a society and a culture that you really don't believe that you can get out of or you can make anything from or do anything worth even talking about. And it's sad, man, because a lot of people I've seen a lot of talented people and a lot of people that have done a lot of things with themselves, just go down the wrong path or get going on the whatever the case may be. And I just kind of want to make that shift around here. And that's a big one. Um, uh, Another big one is you know, fear. You know, people we live in a country now where we've all been handed safety over freedom, and people believe that we have to do the safest thing possible because that um, that gives us stability, and it gives us a sense of well, just safety, man. I guess I don't really know how else to explain it. Like some people just want to be safe, and and it, and they don't see the potential in themselves and what they're actually capable of, whether that was instilled in them or not at home or you their upbringing, um, and they get they want to live a life that is doesn't have a lot of lows at all, but with that comes a lot of highs, and so it's just more like right here, it's safe and it's complacent and there's not a lot of worries. Um, but I just never been like that, man. Maybe since I was a kid, I was just like, there ain't no fucking way that you expect me to believe or understand that this we have one opportunity, one experience here on this planet, and I'm gonna spend 40 hours out of my week or more, you know, just making ends meet and not even getting to see anything outside my own backyard, not even getting to experience what the world has to offer, you know. Um, I just never, I just felt like I was here for a purpose, I had a purpose and I didn't know at the time, what that purpose is or was or but I knew that it was a higher calling. I knew that I wasn't gonna just fucking go idly through the life my life just living in the comfort of safety, you know. Uh, So I just always been a dreamer, man. I need to make a point that I just got my hands tattooed, so I'm not like ready to go, sparring or anything like that. We're trying to like wrap my heads up. I just literally just got them tattooed. I probably could take these off right now, these handcuffs. But yeah, man. And another thing too is like people give up on their dreams, man, because they listen to too many people um, shit on them their entire lives, So people want you to do good. They just don't want you to do better than them. And people will support your dreams up until the point that you make it. And then you find at that point, it's when you get all the haters. It's when all these people that, you know what I mean? And they hate on you or they don't support you anymore once you make the dreams because it reminds them how they didn't accomplish theirs. It reminds, it just puts a bitterness in their mouth. I fucking hate that because for me, I always like, I want everybody to come up. You know what I mean? I want everybody to succeed. I want all these things, but not everybody's wired like that.
Let's talk about the sacrifices of mixed martial arts. So, a lot of people I don't think fully understand that in the world of MMA, you can be in the UFC, you can be in these big promotions. The money maybe quite isn't what it is for all. Like if you were a baseball player, or a football player, or a basketball player, especially starting out before you get to the UFC and you're grinding out on the regional scene, the money isn't enough for most people to just quit their job. They have to balance a job, maybe potentially kids, a wife. They have to balance all that and put their energy also in training to be the best mixed martial arts they can to get to that next level. How have you throughout your career been able to manage that sacrifice with your personal life?
Anybody that chases dreams has to do that, And like I said, I had to sleep on a lot of couches, man, and I had to reach out to a lot of people and get help throughout my community as far as sponsorships go, and whatever the case may be. I remember when I first started training, like I was telling you earlier, Dixon's Dungeon. It was I was still in college. It was summer at the time, and I had a job as summer camp. Summer camp. Who the fuck allowed me to watch kids? No, I'm just kidding. I'm great with kids, but uh, and then in the evening or at night, I worked swing shift at the casino, and I was security there for the casino. And so I was working 16 hours a day, and then right in between going from getting off from the summer camp and before I had to go in at like 6 o'clock at night you know, um, at the casino, it was like a 2 hour, 2.5 hour gap. And that's when I would train, that would be it. And something about the grind and the grittiness of it, and you listen to all these other fighters coming up talk about their story, and it was just like, yeah, this is how it's supposed to be. You know what I mean? Like I'm a fighter, I'm a real fighter, like I remember my first fight, I like for 2 months, man, I didn't take like 2 3 months, like I didn't take like a sip of alcohol. You know what I mean? And I didn't party, I didn't do any of that. Like I was like taking it real serious. Like it was like I was just adamant about being disciplined, waking up early in the morning, man. It's fucking 5 o'clock, freezing outside and go running. My big ass like barely run like 2 miles, you know what I mean? Like just doing all the shit you saw like on TV and a Rocky movie stuff. And so like I thought that, I embraced it, because I was fighting to get out of that. And you know, Joe Rogan said it. I like, one of his favorite quotes was, you know, it was it was something like, hard times makes hard people, and or strong people, and strong people make easy times, and easy times make soft people, and blah blah blah. This it's kind of like that loop. And I was just, the early grind was just like part of my journey. You know what I mean? It was what kind of fueled me to progress to the level that I wanted to get to. And maybe, maybe too, like when I talk about that cognitive dissonance and kind of the self-sabotaging, that subconscious self-sabotaging that I had and that a lot of people have. Um, Maybe that's why I kept repeating the patterns of like once I got into a place that I was comfortable in my career, I would lose or I would self sabotage myself or whatever, and would just make things harder. on me to where it's like my back's against the wall and I have no choice but to fight. And I kind of think like on this like journey that I've been on, I'm realizing a lot of things about myself. And because of that, I can pinpoint where, what's really holding me back and, you know, keep the things that uh, resonate with me and help motivate me and help me get to my goals and then let go of everything else, you know? So yeah, man, the sacrifice and it that was just early in my career. I mean, my son, once I had my son, actually right before my son was born was when I got my call to the UFC, for my first fight. But my son's mom, she didn't want me fighting anymore. She was like, you need to go get a real job and stop chasing your dreams, blah, 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 all this other shit. And so, you know, I had to sacrifice that relationship. It's like I'm not giving up on my dreams. I tell anybody that on day one, either you want to support me in what I'm doing or be on my team or not. And that like fucking, vindictive women, and it really cost me like a lot with my kid, by continuing to chase my dreams instead of, being in a relationship with that person. And same thing on my marriage. And like it's just like people think they want to be with a fighter. The girls, any ladies out there listening, you think you want to be with a fighter. You think it's all clout and fame, and you want to be up there like with Conor McGregor and his wife and all this other shit. But like when the it's everybody wants to hop on when the train's fucking rolling, but when that motherfucker gets derailed and they don't want to. I don't want you fighting anymore. I don't want to. I don't, I mean, they can't. It takes a strong woman to do that, or even husband, because there's females fight now, um, to have to deal with like the ups and downs of being in a relationship with a fighter. And so I had to sacrifice, that as well. I've had to. I mean, so many things, man. So many things. I was a firefighter um, for like 3 years, and when I got called back to the UFC for the second time, um, I was like, I want to do this right. I want to go, train somewhere full time, blah blah blah, this and that. And the Chiefs and lieutenant, everybody in the department was like, bro, what the fuck are you still doing here? Like this shit will be here when you get back. We go, But that's just another sacrifice, I had to make. So many, man. But to me, the juice is worth the squeeze. I mean, my biggest like impact I want to have on my kids' life as a father is to show them to never give up on your dreams, to never, settle for complacency, to never, think that you're not enough and that you can't accomplish anything and everything that you want to accomplish. Even though they see me go through the trenches and they see me, have to deal with the heartbreak and everything else that comes with it. I tell them that I chose this. This is what I want to do. Don't feel sorry for me. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's what I like. I want to show them to follow their dreams.